Hey guys, I just want to give you a quick run through of how to install my SmartThings text-to-speech server and get the Smart app up and going. Um, just to give you a quick rundown of how it works, it basically uses a service called IVONA, which is an Amazon company. Um, the Smart app, when presence is detected, a light switched on, or any of the usual kind of events happens, it sends a request to the Raspberry Pi server or Linux server, whatever you're using. That then sends a request to the IVONA server, gets the audio file back from the IVONA server, and plays it through your speakers. It's actually quite simple. Ivona is really good, funny enough. I've kind of compared her voice to Amazon's Echo, to Alexa, and it's near enough the same. Previously I tried a couple of like Ubuntu or Linux text-to-speech programs, and they were really robotic. So if I just give you a quick demo of what she sounds like.
The front door is open.
So yeah, fantastic. Just works really well, and works really well, with multiple different kind of voices. So also multiple different I don't know text strings to speak. So you sign up. It's free. It's a free service, and what you do is you actually get about, I think it's 50,000 API calls for this every month for free with a developer account. So it's probably more than you'll ever need. I think trying it over the last couple of days, I've done 194, so nowhere near the upper limits. Once you're registered, you just want to click credentials, and there you'll get a API key and an API secret key. You'll need to store these for later. If you're on if you're on Windows, stick it in Notepad. If you're on Mac, stick those keys in your notes, and we'll go back to them later. So next thing, we want to go to my GitHub page. You can get to that by going github.com, Adam Clark-dev, SmartThings-text-to-speech. -speech, and the instructions are all here. So steps 1 we've done. Step 2, you just need to get a Raspberry Pi up and going. If you're using a Raspberry Pi, you want to install Nobus on it and get Raspbian going and get to a login screen. The login screen should look something like this when you're logged in. And basically you want to just start copy and pasting each one of these lines into the console and just responding to any instructions that it gives you. All of this is already installed on my Raspberry Pi, so I wasn't going to give you, so I'm not going to go through it over again, but I'll give you a quick run through of what everything does. Node.js-legacy, that's the programming language it's written in, and sudo apt-get basically just installs the package. npm is the Node package manager, which is basically packages which installs packages that the server uses. And Git is a repository program or code repository program, which this is hosted on GitHub, which is a hosting service for Git projects. And so that basically allows you to install my code on your server easily. Librasound 2, that is just required by one of the Node packages running on the server. I think it's the speaker package, which sends audio from IVONA to the audio jack on your Raspberry Pi or Ubuntu server, whatever you're doing it on. Forever, installing it globally. That basically, forever, basically, if the server ever falls over, if there's any unplanned errors, it will just pick back up the server again. And the same with Forever Service, that just installs the Forever or the script as a service. So if your computer restarts, then it just picks it back up again, and then you just don't have to really worry about it. It can just, sit in the cupboard. And if you do have an unexplained issue, you can just restart the server and know that the package is going to come back up. So the next piece of data that we're going to need, the 3 bits of data, are the access key, which you've already got, the API key, which you've already got, and then the IP address. You get the IP address by typing ifconfig in here. And you can see my IP address is just here, 192.168.0.11. Again, you need to make sure you've got your Raspberry Pi connected to your network to get this, otherwise ifconfig's not going to do much. And yeah, so just add that to your notes for later. And then next thing we need to do, make /var /ww. This just makes the var ww directory. For me, it's already there. And you'll see I've got my lightwave RF integration, my VBO integration, and this integration, which is in a folder called TTS. So you don't need to create the TTS directory. It's actually created on this next command when you type git clone the repository name and then TTS. Then if we go cd into that directory, cd /var /w /TTS. And this is all the code that's been downloaded for the project. And what you won't see in there is a thing called node_modules. So if you do sudo npm install, if you type sudo npm install, that will basically install all the node modules. There's a package.json folder file. And what the package.json file is, that lists all of the packages that the server uses. So you can see IVONA, Node, Lame, and Speaker. So yeah, you don't need to do the cat package.json, but I'm just showing you. And next, what we'll do is we'll type sudo forever service install tts -script server.js. And what that does is it just runs. Let me just close this. It just runs the server.js file and puts it into forever service, and then typing sudo service tts start. That starts the TTS service. Another thing you might want to do on a Raspberry Pi is put in this, which basically puts the volume on your Raspberry Pi to 100%. This is useful for me because I just want to stick my Raspberry Pi in the cupboard and then control the sound via my amplifier, or I guess if you're using speakers, you just want to do that rather than have to worry about it. So on the server side, that's pretty much it now. You can leave it, put it in the cupboard, and it'll just run happily. The next thing we want to do is to go to the smartapp.groovy file in the code repository, and we want to click raw on there, and then we want to get a new tab, and we want to search for we want to think for the SmartThings API. And at the top should be graph.api.smartthings. Let's click that. And then I'm already logged in on here, funnily enough. But if you come to the login page, it should look like this. You click login, put in your details. Now I'm in the UK, so I've got to do one extra step, which is click my locations and log in again. And what you'll see is now I'm logged in properly, and the URL is actually changed to graph-eu1. So whether you're on the step before, the next thing we need to do is go to My Smart Apps, and we'll click New Smart App. Now we'll click From Code, and we will copy and paste that code from that raw page that we got earlier, and paste it in here, and then click Create. Now, that really should be all you need to do. Once you click Save here and you click Publish, for me, that will publish it, and it will be available in your on the application on your phone or Android device or whatever you're using. The one extra step that I would recommend, though, is to hard code the API key, the secret key, and the server IP into the application. The reason I put it in there is just, if you're using multiple servers or your API access key changes, it's available. But actually, in practice using it, I realised that for every message, it's kind of annoying having to put in an access key and a secret key, because they're quite a lot of characters. So what we can do to get around that and having to retype it every time, as it's only us using this application and it's not globally published, if we go to lines 68 to 70, so you see access key, secret key, server IP, and we delete those, and then we go down the page, here we go, to line 185, we get rid of everything from here, from the server IP, and then just at the start we type in our IP address, which for me was 192.168.0.11. And that's the IP address of the server, again, that we get by typing ifconfig. And then the next thing is the access key, which is the access key that we got from IVONA earlier. So I'm just going to put XXX. For you, it should be like a 16-character access key. And then the secret key we do the same for, and we go XXX, and then save, and then publish. So what that will basically mean, if I show you on here, if this will work, you have all the options, and then usually before you'd have had the access key, the API key, and the IP address, having to type them in every time in the Smart app for every Smart app you have. But now you can just say, when Motion's here, say this message, and it's a lot easier. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the app, and yeah, cool. Thank you very much.